Hey, welcome to the Nerdcaster podcast. Like usual, it's me here, Joe, and with me I have Justin,
What's up?
and we have straight from E3, right off the bus or the boat from Canada, however the hell he got here illegally. Trump sending your ass back. Uh, Mr. Machismo,
Good
what's
evening, gentlemen.
what's
Thanks for
Good
going
having
on?
me
evening.
on.
No
Yeah.
problem. No problem. Thank
So,
you for even fucking agree to come on this
yeah,
terrible, sometimes decent little show that we do.
I love you guys.
um,
Listen to you guys all the time. I gotta come on here.
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, you were supposed to be on here while at E3, but y'all screwed that up because you had to do actual work or something. Like you had to go enjoy yourself, not call into us.
Exactly. Sorry about that. Little wild this year, but glad to be able to come on and answer any questions that you guys may have.
Yeah,
So
well, go ahead.
you do all the Cisco work there, right? All the networking.
Well, yeah. So the how I get contracted in is I help with the actually the design installation of the network backbone that runs all of the entire show for E3 from all the vendor side, and they have like individual network requirements or bandwidth requirements to the actual management show size, security, the whole nine yards. So the entire circuit that is brought into the LACC is courtesy of yours truly and the team that I work with.
Nice. How the
Yeah.
hell did you come across that job?
Word of mouth, actually. I got lucky.
Okay.
I did some work for another individual. They liked my work. They signed me up. They brought me on, and I've been doing E3 now. This was my 14th year doing E3.
Jesus,
Nice.
14th year?
So,
Yeah,
That's kind of fucking cool, considering you have literally seen like gaming just progress in the
yeah.
past 4. That's actually really cool.
so
It's actually the funny true story. I had this exact conversation with somebody while I was at E3 since I've been coming here so many years, and they asked me what my favorite E3 was by far. I don't remember the exact year, so I don't want to quote it on your show and be inaccurate. But it was the year that the PS3, the Xbox 360, and the Wii came out the exact same day. It was the biggest. It was this a middle finger across the aisle at everybody. That Microsoft had this big booth, huge booth that during the build had a black shard around the booth that the only way you could get in is if you had physical Microsoft credentials. There were armed police that they hired to guard the booth during the build so nobody could see what the 360 was, what it looked like, nothing. But here's the funny truth about that. If you ever got into that booth and you saw the underbelly of what was actually running the Xbox 360s at that time, hold the drum roll,
yeah, because I don't have drums.
Apple Macintosh G5s.
What?
Yep. Every single one of them were running the Xbox 360. Hilarious. Because I had an NDA, I was not permitted to take pictures.
No.
But believe me when I tell you, I was like, ooh.
What the
But
fuck?
that was a great show. Microsoft had this huge rollout for the 360. It was a big deal. 2 hours later, emergency press conference by Sony. We would like to congratulate Microsoft with this great showing of the gaming community. It's going to be great. We'd like to introduce the PS3. Boom! Everybody was like, "Oh!" The press went crazy. Press went nuts. 3 hours later, emergency press conference by Nintendo.
Oh
These
god.
guys don't speak any English. Thank you. Great to see Sony and Microsoft with great additions, but we'd like to show the Wii. And they were like, the Wii, what does it do? And they showed what the Wii did, and it was just like, gaming
The
community
mind's
went
blown.
upside down. It was the best E3 ever. That was actually the last E3 before they took out all the booth babes. So it was out of control. It was completely out of control.
Shit.
That was
That's
great. It was the
that's
best
fucking
E3 I've ever. It was nuts. They shut it. Now they shut that place down, man. There was riots. It was crazy. It was just nuts.
So,
just
eh,
riots for Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft.
It's true. It was great.
The nerdiest riot ever.
so,
Oh yeah.
so with that being the best E3, and you've seen the progression of E3 all this time, um,
Yes.
So let's move forward to this E3. How does this
Yeah.
compare in years past? Since I know like certain publishers have pulled out or didn't show up.
Yes, yes, very good point. So this is my personal assessment. There's no general facts to this. I personally believe that this show is going to go away. The reason why I say that is because over the years that I've seen E3, from the past 3 years since EA has officially pulled out of their show, as you both know that they have their own event now called EA Play.
Mm-hmm.
The first year they did this, they did it directly across the street from the LACC at LA Live in the Microsoft Theater. That caused a huge issue because half the crowd left E3 to go over to EA Play, so the traffic wasn't in there. So I guess they bartered behind the scenes and they said,
What?
we're no longer going to do, oh yeah, we're no longer going to do this. So they do it the 3 days before the opening of E3. So EA has their own thing, EA Play. Now, fast forward to this year, as you know also, Microsoft decided to follow suit. They are now also doing their own thing in the Microsoft Theater across the street, and they did it the exact same time as E3. So if you're familiar with the layout of E3, over years past, before it used to be the entire building, all three halls. You have West Hall, you have South Hall, and you have Kentia Hall, which is underneath.
And what building?
Kentia is no in the Kentia was in is technically in South. Yeah, that's in the South building.
What's
Kentia is in the
of the LA
Kentia is the underbelly.
of the LA
In the
Convention Center?
Yes, of the Los Angeles Convention Center. So over the past maybe like 5 or 6 years, they no longer use Kentia because they're not filling up that space. It was just West and South. Now West, so you will get an idea of the map. West is 99.9% was the booth held with the big three: Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. That literally took up the entire hall. And you had like,
Okay.
GameSpot had a little booth here and a couple little guys over here just to fill the extra space up. That was the entire hall. Fast forward over to the South Hall, you have EA. As soon as you walk in the South, the first thing you're going to see in the front, EA Sports. It was right in front of you. Big, loud, obnoxious, huge, multi-tier booth. It was crazy. Next to that was Square Enix. To the right of that was Disney Interactive. Now, Disney pulled out. EA pulled out. Now that's a gap that needs to be filled. Last year, they moved Microsoft out of the West Hall, which was crazy talk, and they put that into the South Hall. So that just sucked up the count. But the way that they made it look like there was so much more going on. So it was just a matter of semantics and how they played it. Now that Microsoft pulled out, there was a gap. So certain booths, only thing they did was get bigger. For example, Bethesda. If you look at the map from last year and you look at the map from this year, they still are in the same spot. Their booth is just now bigger. You got Square Enix. Their booth is just now bigger. That's what they did to suck up that space. Microsoft had no showing in the actual Los Angeles Convention Center except for their Mixer booth, which they promoted extremely hard this year. All of the other Microsoft, Xbox 3, yes, Mixer is their new social media. It's not social
Streaming.
media. Their
streaming
online streaming platform that they are very aggressively trying to push as an alternative to Switch and some of the other showings that are out in the industry right now.
You mean Twitch?
Wow. Okay.
So-
I had no fucking idea.
Oh yeah, it's they're really trying to gain legs, and there's a lot of controversy and there's a lot of back and forth amongst the gaming community in regards to why to switch to Mixer, why not to switch to Mixer. So I mean, there's a lot of different schools of thought. Like the thing is, okay, if you want to get your stuff out there and you want a platform that you're going to definitely be seen on, go Mixer because there's not that many people on there right now,
it's
and it's going to
yeah.
gain traction. Be an early adopter, pretty much, kind of like just how people did with Twitch.
Makes sense.
But then the other people are saying, well, there's not that many games out there. There's not that many people going to go there. So you might want to go back to Switch if you want to keep your traffic going. If you're not established and you want to gain some traction, it's good to go to Mixer and just build a fan base. If you already got a fan base, don't leave that fan base and move over to Mixer to stay where you are and keep it going. I mean, again, there's a lot of different schools of thought to go to Mixer or not, but that's just personal preference, I think. But the showing is pretty cool. The way what they're trying to do is kind of cool. The way that they're doing the streaming, how they're segmenting the data to packet loss and get cleaner video and so on and so forth. I think it's pretty cool. It's going to be very interesting to see, what happens. Now they put so much effort into Mixer, but it was kind of a shame, again, as I usually predict, they're not putting that much in terms of their exclusive titles, as we all know. So they have a couple things here, but the major ones, again, as they always push, Forza. Number one thing, as soon as you walk in, see the big Forza car. It's always cool to see the car, but it's just like, okay, where's the one that makes me want to say, I'm going out today and getting an Xbox?
They don't have it anymore.
They're not doing it now. There's rumblings under the belly that they're getting ready to buy some production houses to try to corner the market on as exclusives. There's a lot of
can't make them
myths
buy 'em.
out there that they're going to buy EA. So they can lock up some exclusives that way, but nobody knows if that's going to happen or not.
I can totally see them buying EA. I think that would actually maybe help them, even though EA's been in shit for the whole Star Wars bullshit and all that.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't just pick up a bunch of these small little indie companies. No offense against indie games, but I'm fucking 34. I don't want to play another Mario clone. Like, I don't, but give me something that looks nice and plays well. I'm sorry. I don't like the fucking games that our one friend sometimes has on his, Steam. And it's like these drawings that it looks like a little kid made and they made a game out of it. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't care about that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to play that game.
Yeah. But you know what the funny thing about that? But if you go over to now the Nintendo side, they're killing it with the Switch, man. They're killing it. Like, you would have never thunk it from the unfortunate failure of the Wii U, which I personally liked.
I like the Wii U. I thought the Wii U was cool.
I love the Wii U. I wish that they developed more games for it. But I tell you what, the E3 is awesome to hear from the developer standpoint. And it's really, really cool to hear the developers are really jumping on this bandwagon for the Switch. So games are going to start starting to flood out.
I mean, it makes sense because you got to look at it. The Switch, you can even take that off the dock. It's still a 720p screen, but it still looks nice. Like, no one's complaining about it. You can still play the games. Even Doom was running, fairly well on it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good platform, but Nintendo's always been like that. They can always pull something out of their ass and be like, we're gonna fucking perform some magic trick now. Here you go.
So just like I was saying before, I think that what's going to happen is since Microsoft pulled out, they had a lot of foot traffic over there. And I think that the show is getting exponentially smaller. Like, I'm used to seeing, and I remember like last time I talked with Nerdcaster last year, and I had some video of my treat to me is I love 7:00 in the morning Pacific time, going out into the concourse and looking at the sea of heads that look like the starting gate at the Boston Marathon, getting ready to bum rush the escalator to get up into the show floor to see these games, right? The cops say one time, don't run. That's the last thing you hear. Then somebody always gets trampled every year. I got it on videotape consecutively. For 14 years, I got people get trampled. It's awesome. I love it.
It's like watching Black Friday.
This year was the first year that I went out to that concourse. I looked out and I saw actual floor.
Wow.
So that was like, wow. This is not the same.
Isn't that why they opened it up? Or do you think that's why they opened it back up to the public?
Oh, they opened it up to the public. It got nuts because they opened it back up. They started to lose money. So it's all about money. They tried to tame it down. They closed it off to the public. That 1 year, like I said, it was nuts. They tried to bring it back to make it corporate because it was the AVNs with the booth babes running around with what they were wearing, and it was nuts. I can't even. My vocabulary is not deep enough to describe how insane it was. then to see how they rolled it back, took away the booth bays, made it industry only. Then they said, okay, we're going to make it up. We're going to open up to press and third party press. That went on for a couple of years. And they said, okay, we're going to open it back up to the public, which did really, really well. And then in the past, 2-3 years, they actually started selling things at the venue, which they never did before. So now they're selling things at the benefit. The money is just coming outside of just merch from the E3 merch. These other companies are able to sell their own merch in there now, and that does really well. Like Bethesda, oh my gosh,
Funko.
Don't get me started in that one. That was like a New York Stock Exchange situation going on over there. They had these exclusive Funko Pop E3 figures that were going out there. And,
I heard about that.
Yeah, that was a scene. People were it was going to get ugly. Trying to get these things, man. It was kind of cool.
That's any of the fucking Funko Pop things. We went to go see Kevin Smith the other 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago or whatever. Yeah, even that was a fucking shit show.
Just for his pop.
Imagine.
Yeah.
No kidding. That's funny.
Yeah, man. But that's fucking crazy. Yeah, so 14 years you've been doing that.
Yeah.
Holy
it's
shit.
Been fun. It's been fun. It's been
Joe,
fun.
We got
a lot of people.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up?
Joe, we got to I don't know. It's seeming all doom and gloomy for E3. We got to go before
it doesn't exist.
No, yeah, listen. You can't. This is my personal assessment. I think what to watch for next year is to see if either Sony or Nintendo pulls and does their own thing.
In my opinion, Nintendo will pull before Sony. Nintendo already has their Treehouse conferences, so they'll just make the Treehouse things bigger and better.
Well, they also, not even a few months later, coming up is the Tokyo Game Show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another big ass one. But I think that's primarily just going to be like publishers, developers, and fucking Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Microsoft does anything for that.
Well, PAX comes up right after E3 as well.
Oh, that's right. PAX
and PAX is and PAX is actually starting to gain legs on E3 and getting bigger. So I think everybody is going to be probably funneling into that. So who knows?
I mean, the one thing I want to do, bigger than to me, is E3. I want to go to BlizzCon, but yeah, exactly. But with E3, now that we've talked about how big it's gotten and how crappier it's gotten and people pulling out, what were the best games there that you saw, regardless of publisher? We're not going to go through all the publishers. Obviously, we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick your top 5 games you saw there, what would they be?
At the risk of sounding like a fanboy, which I am not, to go on disclaimer, I am not a fanboy. I own all 3 majors. I play everything. I enjoy everything, but I cannot turn a blind eye. Last of Us 2, that cut was incredible. It was incredible. The game that we saw, even though there wasn't too much game playable options, the cuts that they showed, the private scenes that they showed outside of the keynote, absolutely incredible. Just with the detail, just the movement, it was just nuts. I've never personally played it, but got to give hats off again to Bethesda. The new Fortnite 76, Fortnite, I'm sorry.
Fallout.
Fallout 76 was nuts.
Fallout looks fucking cool as hell.
It really is cool. I think that might be one that I may pick up myself.
I already pre-ordered it, so let me know.
Yeah, they from what they showed, and for what is for what they're actually going to be able to do with it, even the online play, they just turned it up a notch, and people went bananas for that one. Sony had another one that was called Ghosts of Tsushima or Tsutsumi. I apologize if I'm jacking the name up.
The samurai game that looks dope to me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 of them. Well, you got Nihon 2 coming out.
Nihon, Yep.
And then you got that other Ghost of
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
fucking
That
whatever
Ghost
that
of
one is.
Tsushima or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
that looks
that
awesome.
game is ridiculous. That game is going to be bananas.
So that's 3.
That's okay. The other one that I saw that I cannot wait to play this stupid game was can't believe is one with Norman Reedus.
Something Standing, Death Stranding.
Death Stranded.
That's it. Death Stranding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Death Stranding. That game is going to kill everything. It really is. It really is.
My problem with that, they showed it at last E3 with that one intro trailer, and it looked beautiful. It looked awesome. It looked fucking weird. It still looks fucking weird.
That's Hideo Kojima for you.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to buy into this bull crap. I'll give it a shot if I enjoy it. Like at somebody else's house, I'll buy it. But this is a game I can't subscribe to until I play it elsewhere.
Yeah, it's from what they showed and from what I saw in the back end outside of the cuts, and if you go into the little theater, they show some play. It's going to do well. They graphically, I think in order of best graphics to least, definitely go the Last of Us 2. Hey, killing me. Last of Us 2 was graphically that was light years over the first one. It looked really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just bring your kids on the podcast.
I tell you, kids on the podcast. So Last of Us 2 is huge. That Ghost of Tsushima, graphically, that just the detail in the background of how things were moving, grass moving, the blood coming out. Oh my gosh! I don't know of a person when they showed the first cut, the entire male population went woo at the same time when people were getting slashed up. That was just phenomenal. There's another game that I really don't know too much about. It just looks cool.
This is number 5.
I gotta give it a head up. Control.
What the hell is
Control?
This?
Yeah, it's called Control. It's on the PS4. It's a Sony exclusive again.
Dude,
it looks real cool, man.
Is there a premise?
Cool. Yeah, it's called Control.
What's the premise of this?
It is. You explain it because I can't even fucking.
It looked like to me, from what I was trying to gather, and I apologize, I'm not giving you or your listeners too much information on it, but from what I saw, it looked like it was a cross between Infamous and
that's a good game. I like the game Silence.
And Mirror's Edge. I guess you can look at the two. It was really cool.
I got a problem with your list here. How do you talk about this list and not mention 2 of the biggest games that wrecked people? Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, like number 1, and number 2, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Come on.
Kingdom. So you asked my personal favorite.
Yeah,
so
I asked. Those should have been your personal favorites. That's what I'm telling you now.
I understand. But no, I'm looking at just overall, just graphically. Like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy looking. Yes, people went ape for Super Smash Brothers when it came out. I tell you what else they went bananas for. More so than that, when they released Fortnite for the
Switch, yeah.
For the Switch, when they released that, I don't know how that server didn't crash.
If I got to watch one more person do a backpack dance, I think I'm going to punch him in the head.
Hey man, you can't lie on a game that cleared over like 700 million in a month for people dressing your character up like Barbie. I mean it.
And you know what's crazy?
Hats off to them.
All they did, they took the formula from fucking PUBG, and they were just like, "All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it free, and maybe make it a little bit weirder." And
it succeeded.
Yeah, it worked. I mean,
I think they had the best booth.
They 100% ripped off fucking PUBG. There's no denying that. Yeah, but it's working for them, so they did something better.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that was
game-
really good. Kingdom Hearts was Kingdom Hearts. I know that Joe is a very big proponent of Kingdom Hearts. And I got as much information like I've never personally played the game. I kind of don't even really get the premise of it personally.
Yeah,
I
shut
know
up.
some of your listeners are probably like, "Who is this dork?" But hey,
Joe actually has
people
a new
people
drawing
went
of Sora.
people
It's
went,
crazy.
yeah, people went nuts for this thing. They really did. They honestly did.
You got a PS3 hooked up?
I do.
Maybe I'll send you a copy since I have like 3 copies of it for the PS3.
I believe you do, man. You got the copy you keep by your bed. You got the copy in the car.
Hold on. What do we got here? I got this one here. This is Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
Oh my god.
You were with me when I bought that, actually. Remember we went to like 3 GameStops? I got that one.
Yeah, it's like 2.8.
Yeah, 2.8. Hold on.
1.5, 2.5, 2.8.
Here's
4.75.
Here's 1.5 and 2.5 remix.
I think I sent you some video of Kingdom Hearts. Oh, you guys
You
both
did.
got it.
Yeah, we uploaded it. It's all good. But yeah, I got every iteration of Kingdom Hearts that's available, dude. I throw my money at them, and now that they have a $230 pre-order, I'll probably buy that. And you know what?
That's crazy.
It's stupid. The pre-order thing to me is not worth it, but I need to have it because it's me.
Like, my wife's gone, right? Yeah, she's gone. All right, I already pre-ordered like a good $300 worth of shit for E3.
I need to get this. I need to pre-order some stuff myself. I just been lax with other projects.
Yeah, November and December and January, like I just have a shit ton of games coming to the house.
Yeah, you'll have more coming in than you'll be able to play. That's the one thing I hate about that time of year.
That's that's the case now, man. I have so many damn games here. I don't fucking know. One of these days.
Oh, and in terms of hardware that was out there, there's one thing I got kind of hip to that I really like. It was a Scorch controller. By the company Scorch.
Was that
I think you're talking about the Scuff controller, right?
Scuff. I think that
the Scorch.
Scuff. The
Scuff?
PS4
Scorch?
controller?
Yeah. It's a very, very well made, fully customizable controller. They have it for the Xbox and Xbox and PS4.
There is Scorch too, so I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is very, very cool. Fully customizable. It has customizable toggles that you have underneath. It sits in your hand like well, and you don't have to really go above and beyond to really access any of the customizable buttons on the side, on the top, on the bottom. It's extremely cool piece.
So the fact that you're talking about a controller as being the coolest hardware piece there, it tells me that yay, a controller. There's nothing else. No VR stuff, new VR stuff or anything like that.
New VR? No, they had some other titles that I played that I saw.
Hardware wise, like no wireless
hardware. No. I didn't see anything that was new or innovative that was like, oh my gosh, look at that for VR. They just took the existing and just kind of maybe they added a little thing here and wrote a little program there. There was nothing that was just like, really cutting edge. There were more gaming chair companies there than I've ever seen in my life. That was the bigger thing.
Yeah,
racing chairs are in style now. Everyone's got one.
Shout out to DX Racer chairs for giving us a shout out.
That's right, DX Racer. Those guys really they really picked up their their booth from last year. They went from the very, very small booth to wow, are you kidding me booth this year. So
we're going to do our mid podcast advertisement here. DX Racer. Go buy a DX Racer chair. They're super comfortable. I personally don't have one, but I think I sat in one time, and my butt's never been happier. So,
well, Machismo there can talk from experience. Aren't you sitting in one right now?
Exactly.
So, how's your butt feel? Maybe your wife can tell us how your butt feels in that chair.
Absolutely, yeah. You can tell if I got one right there. There it is.
Yeah.
That is a sexy looking chair.
Yeah, I enjoy
it.
Justin, you have any other questions? Because I'm pretty good.
No, I mean I do. I guess that some more behind the scenes crap. Like, how do you know? I guess if you can answer this real quick, that'd be awesome.
Sure.
So when these vendors, do they have like a set amount of speed that they need to have to, I guess, stream their games or any video that they're doing, or live
Yes.
blogging, any of that crap? So are
Absolutely.
they
There's
like,
a lot
oh,
of
I
there's
want 50 megs, I want 20 megs? Like, how do you spare that? Like, how do you like sparse that out to everyone else?
Oh, that's very simply. I mean, it can be that's all done from the router level coming back up, just like you would do
Yeah.
on any corporate network.
Okay.
So we come in with a certain amount of bandwidth. We have multiple circuits that come in for a secondary and tertiary backup in case of any problems. So we got a lot of bandwidth. I remember when I first started doing this, I remember the bandwidth was like
Stupid
2 meg. That was like ridiculous. Like, oh my God, 2 meg. And now it's like 20 meg. And then 20 meg was ridiculous. And now it's less like, I mean, they're doing stuff like right now they're asking for like a lot of bandwidth. I mean, EA, while they were in alone, they were getting almost a 50 meg by themselves. It was just nuts. So yeah, they depending on what they want, there's a lot of monitoring that goes in place, and when we see that the utilization goes up amongst a certain amount of bandwidth, then usually we talk to the vendor and say, hey, this is where you are. We're seeing some spikes. They say, hey, we need more, ramp it up. So it's like, Scotty from Star Trek, like we need more power. Everybody's a bandwidth hog at these type of shows. They always want more.
Do you have
But
to,
you usually
give that to them, or can you tell them like, nah, that's in the contract. That's what you get. Sorry.
No, I mean no. We're usually the team that I'm on and the team that I work with. It's joining this on the spot. If they need it, we can provide it for them. So we have ways to segment and give them some things that they need immediately and make everybody happy. So any type of bandwidth hiccups, the end user will never know that there's anything. The guys that are running the networks for the company's individual booths are like, hey man, we're starting to lag here. We're trying to see something. And usually we monitor so heavily, we're there telling them before they even know it.
Okay, so you can see any spikes coming or any drops, any packet loss.
Exactly. Oh yeah, nice. We're monitoring extremely heavily. That's why the show usually goes on so smoothly. People go in and they play these games. A lot of times they have certain companies that'll interconnect with different booths. So like EA will have a game that'll come right back to Microsoft's booth, and they're playing directly, going back and forth. So we have to wire directly in, and sometimes the servers go back to wherever the companies are from, and it's just. Jesus. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
The reason it runs so well is because you set it up, Machismo. That's why.
That is correct. It would suck if I didn't.
That's right. All right. Anything else there, buddy? I mean, you can ask whatever you want.
I watched it, any YouTube streams and crap like that. It's just all the games coming out. I pre-ordered so much crap. And I honestly, I was this close to thinking that Sony was actually going to come out with like PS4 Pro Edition, just another Pro at the end of the Pro they already have, or a PS5 or something.
PS4 Pro 2.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. PS4 Pro 2.
But if you look at their press conference, they just kept launching bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb, and it's title after title after title. It's like after a few, it's like, okay, how many titles you want to throw out as exclusives? We get you got exclusives, but man, you're kind of like over inundating people with a whole bunch of titles,
because they used to be so exclusive heavy. Like there used to be so many things. It was like only on PlayStation, and it kind of died down for like a while. And then I would say this E3 they fucking picked that back up. There's a shit ton of exclusive titles now. Because what they had really did. They had Killzone.
Classic.
What was the other fucking alien invasion first-person shooter game? I'm looking up here in my list of games. I can't find it. Started with an R. But Resistance.
Oh my! Remember that? Resistance 1 and 2. Yeah.
Those were awesome games. I mean, and Metal Gear Solid, but now that came out for Xbox.
Well,
So
the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. That was a Sony exclusive, or Kingdom Hearts series was a Sony exclusive until this third one. So it's kind of stupid that on Xbox it's the only one you can play in the series.
I appreciate it for. I'm not getting it for Xbox.
Yeah, because that's what you should get it for. All the other games are on PS4. Why wouldn't you get the last and final installment of this sort of thing on PS4? I mean, it just, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, are they going to stop Kingdom Hearts now, or?
I don't know. It took them over a decade to come out with Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's pretty much going to wrap up the entire story that they're trying to tell. If they're going to come out with a new Kingdom Hearts, it's definitely possible. There's more than one Keyblade bearer if you follow the series, so you could follow a different character and do another trilogy. But
Jesus,
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think the director guy who's on it is as enthused as he's making it sound right now. And with Final Fantasy VII being his other big product, if they do come out with another Kingdom Hearts, it ain't going to be anytime soon after 3. So you might wait another decade.
I was really surprised they didn't mention anything about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I am too.
Supposedly they said it's right on track, and they're like, nope, it's going according to plan.
Yeah, but
you didn't fucking show anything, so probably not.
Yeah, well, it's the same director, and because of Kingdom Hearts needing to be coming out on January 29th, 2019.
It's going on track just as well as Trump's fucking immigration policy.
Oh man,
I'm orange head dickbag.
I'm pretty sure it'll his focus is on Kingdom Hearts 3 till that gets released, and next year if he's at E3 or whatever, I'm sure they'll say something because that's going to be the biggest thing they got coming down that pipeline. But
yeah, fuck, we're gonna have to wait another year until fucking Final Fantasy VII comes out.
It doesn't. They're going to release it episodic, so you're not even going to get the whole game at launch anyway.
I mean,
so that's fucking garbage to begin with. They need to. They need
to
dumb.
To knock that shit.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
I don't really play the Hitman.
Oh, the Hitman reboot was kind of fat too, by the way.
Is that one episodic, or are they just doing like a full game? Like, here you go.
It's a full.
Okay. Then I'd probably buy it again. But that episodic shit,
it looked really good. It looked really cool. The same with the Resident Evil reboot was very cool looking too.
Shit. Yeah. Before we go, did you see that at all? Did you like gameplay or anything?
No gameplay was available, but they had they had the side movie type of thing. But it looked good. It looked really good as a reboot.
Is that
really good? Like play different? Like there's different scenes and shit. Oh my god.
Yes.
Is that also coming out for VR as well, or is that strictly console controller?
I believe it is VR, man.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that would be fucking awesome if it is. So, even though I don't have a VR set up yet,
well, now you have to get it.
Get the PSVR. That's fucking cheap.
Or I can just go to Justin's house or Danny's house.
I mean, you could.
There you go.
That's true. We both selfishly spent fucking $600 to $800 on these dumb things. I played it like 4 times. It's fucking terrible. It's like an $800 headset just sitting there.
But you go over Danny's. you go over Danny's and he'll hook it up in 2 seconds. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and I'm like, "All right, dude. I hate making him go through that just to play like an hour of gaming or something. Because by the end of it, I'm like fucking tired."
He fucking loves it.
I know, and that's great. Like, I mean, I enjoy it while we do it, but I just feel bad that he's got to set it up.
That's his thing, man. He enjoys it. Let him.
I guess so. All right. Well, we're kind of off E3 topic here. But anything else you want to add, Machismo? Anything else you want to ask there, buddy? No, you're good?
Nothing else for you guys.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just thankful that you guys have me on, man. I appreciate it. I love you guys' show.
No problem.
Love coming in and talking to you guys.
Hey, man. Thank you for even coming on.
Yeah.
And thank you for giving us the inside scoop and the videos you sent over and everything else.
My pleasure, man. I look forward to hopefully doing it again next year.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait a whole year just to come on.
Yeah, shit, we'll have you on whenever you want, man.
Yeah. Especially if you make your way back to the East Coast.
That's right. My joy is to come back up to the East Coast and hopefully sit in live with you fools. It'll be fun.
Let us know, because right now it's just I mean, I like Joe, but just every week, same
man.
man, it's killing me. Need a different face.
I'll wear a mask next week. All
All
right,
right,
guys.
I super appreciate this. This was fun. So thank you for
Wicked,
giving
same
us.
here. Thanks very much, everybody.
Yep.
No
Thank you,
problem,
guys,
man.
and we'll all talk again soon, and that means Nerdcaster out.